Do you presently feel like you're not being understood correctly or rubbing individuals the wrong way? Or ultimately not being able to tolerate all these polite expressions, not being able to endure it any longer when your counterpart is consistently complaining without pause? Do you have a sense of perceiving things with greater clarity than before, and perhaps even with greater clarity than others around you? Then this podcast episode is perfect for you, because we can sense now that something within us is truly in motion in a significant manner. And particularly individuals who are engaged in spirituality, individuals who may also be coaches, mentors, spiritual advisors, individuals who are in the process of ascension and truly feel for some weeks, months, or years that they are in the process of ascension, are currently undergoing a notably heightened unlocking of inner senses and spiritual abilities that they have been cultivating and developing throughout their spiritual journey. One can truly say these are capabilities that incline towards the fifth dimension, where we are able to easily explore further into things with our perception. For us, it feels like we have the chance to perceive things more clearly. Yes, it is not solely about always seeing through falsehoods, but rather about delving deeper than what is readily apparent. Yes, and at this specific point in time, very, very significant challenges are approaching our way for all the people who are currently experiencing the situation. And they are significant, because for individuals who are currently at this juncture, having the ability to perceive things more clearly, a unique responsibility lies ahead for them. Yes, so definitely stay tuned. My name is Linda Giese. I have been a spiritual mentor for over 20 years. I am also the founder of the Being Potential Method and the author of Consciousness Next Level. So it is said, my daily bread is to work with people, to guide people in and through their transformation. And something has changed at this particular moment. It has become more profound. It has become more intense now. It seems to be about something more. And that can be clearly and distinctly seen with great clarity and precision. And if you're interested in the work, we host regular live shows for free via Zoom, by the way. Just have a look at the show notes and you will find a link there. You will get more information and also the chance to sign up for free. It is a lot of fun, very enriching, and with a bit of luck, we might even get to work together if you would like, live on this show. So feel free to grab your toughest problem and bring it along. Let's have a look at this together. Okay, so let's talk about what is currently happening for individuals who are commonly known and referred to in the spiritual realm as light workers or light warriors, the people who are dedicated to spreading light and love in the world. Consequently, every individual who is presently involved in any form of personal development finds it extremely challenging to carry on with the outdated routine of politeness, cliches, patience, and understanding that they used to adhere to in the past. It is not that they no longer possess understanding and patience. These individuals are still incredibly understanding and incredibly patient in dealing with others. However, when they realize that the other person is playing games with themselves, fooling themselves, caught up in their own lies, and therefore playing with you as well, it may be that you simply can't tolerate it any longer and reach a breaking point. And that is a positive thing, because you have a highly unique task ahead, which implies having the capability to guide and direct others. To commence, this signifies that you possess the capability to direct yourself in a self-leadership capacity. Yes, so that you can also lead others. This means that if you, for example, perceive that your counterpart is presently playing the victim card and can enumerate various reasons why things are going so poorly for them and why certain things are not feasible, but that the situation is so dreadful, but when it comes to progressing towards change, they simply have no concept or minimal willingness to venture out of their comfort zone. No need to evaluate. We all know it from our own experiences. Sometimes we find ourselves in situations where we can't see the bigger picture. Yes, or you know what to do, but you just can't get it done because so many arguments speak against it. This is entirely devoid of value to observe. However, in order to successfully lead these individuals through this, it is imperative that you possess the ability to effectively lead yourself. What do I mean by that? Perhaps you do not enjoy striking others on the head with a ladle. Yes, maybe you love to avoid confrontations by soothing them or or by being nice or taking them to the ship and also involving people at that point. Your profound and genuine love for harmony, peace, and respectful interaction is evident. And at this moment, you find yourself in a role where your sole responsibility is to articulate your thoughts with clarity and frankness, ensuring that you convey your message directly and concisely. This may require you to risk initially offending your counterpart, generating a sense of uncertainty through your statements, your demeanor, or your reluctance to participate in the dynamics of victimhood that may be at play. Yes, possessing the capability to guide you, possessing the capability to guide yourself, signifies possessing the capability to endure internally, to trust the other person so much. It is also highly potent to truly trust the other person to handle it and naturally to maintain communication and stay connected with each other. Yes, that means not fleeing, not just banging your head and leaving. Yes, that's the old world. But instead of banging your head, let's simplify it. And yes, stay as an offering, as a conversation partner, as a friction surface, to serve as a mirror and not to fall into the victim trap, for example. To maintain the act of blowing the horn, yes, to stroke with intelligence and understanding, but above all with clarity. Of course, with this willingness after this confrontation to happily sail everything back into calm waters once again. That makes sense. So staying put until the other person truly relaxes into the new realization that is there for them, allowing it to fully sink in. Yes, and then gently guide them back into a powerful and empowering state of feeling for themselves as well. Yes, and that is currently a very, very strong aspect. At this moment, it appears that bombs are detonating in various locations, and individuals can be characterized as disrespectful, excessively harsh, excessively quick, selfish, or whatever in this manner. You have a unique perspective, you see through things clearly, and you are no longer willing to throw your lifetime into the shredder just so someone else can feel better about themselves. Especially since you realize that it is a hypocritical way to feel better, as it ultimately is just an extension of one's own drama or that of the other. Such aspects can now occur very, very massively. This can be in the employee area. So if you, for example, if you have a company or are self-employed and that people who also work with you in your company, that you really make sure to ensure clarity. I remember a client, we worked together 14 days ago. She said, "Linda, this is so intense. For the very first time, I now possess the courage to clearly and distinctly demonstrate the way to my employee, who has been working alongside me for a significant number of years and with whom I also share a deep and meaningful friendship. And I am even willing to accept that she steps down from her position." And it is very, very powerful that this clarity ultimately, so it was also a good realization for her, has significantly advanced her with her colleague. And all this beating around the bush, taking into account and pampering and powdering, ultimately delayed this process of clarity and good development for all those years. And now with a clear inner attitude, with the courage of a clear conversation, and with the willingness to accept that both go separate ways. With this readiness, it was truly possible to achieve clarity and thus also a complete realignment for the further path. And as a coach, I frequently come across this on a regular basis. Yes, we are consistently faced with the challenge of not just stroking people's egos, but actually providing them with genuine help and support. Humans necessitate either pain or other strokes of fate in order to acquire knowledge and develop understanding. But when he books coaching, we generally want to prevent him from having to experience a dramatic life situation before realizing something. That's what happens through coaching. Coaching can be painful. Sometimes you may face big, uncomprehending eyes. It's exactly what occurs through coaching. And indeed, and for instance, just last week, I had a coaching session with an absolutely wonderful participant. And this coaching was very tough, I have to say. It even hurt me personally, I have to admit. It also pained me to have to be so tough on myself. Furthermore, she genuinely endured a lot in this coaching session. Additionally, and then a few days later, she contacted me and just thanked me unbelievably. Yes, she also wrote a really fantastic blog article about her healing that happened as a result. Furthermore, she also received a substantial amount of encouragement on LinkedIn. As a result, she possesses a strong presence in the business world and openly shared about her transformation in a candid manner. And that has been extremely well received. And she explicitly states that she has been suffering from this problem for decades and has already done so much to address it, but just couldn't break through and find a solution. Yes, there was a layer of resignation in her that no one has managed to break through so far. And it was simply through our collaboration at that time that we were able to accomplish this significant breakthrough. Yes, indeed. And she has, and I have to say this very clearly, it's also clearly her merit because she accepted and she went in and she went through. Yes, most individuals have a tendency to, well, when things become painful or uncomfortable in any way, they tend to flee. Yes, even aiming to shoot the messenger or pointing fingers at them or gossiping about them. Yes, in that scenario, I would have been the person it would have impacted. However, she did not. She went through it clearly, taking responsibility for herself, and she embraced it superbly. And that's just the role. Those weren't just two examples, but you can also look at yourself. You can have that. You can have the same with children. Yes, you can have that with family members, with friends. Over the past few days, I had the pleasure of a visit from an incredibly good friend. And during the last 3 encounters, specifically the 2 previous times we met, I unfortunately fell ill. And now, on this occasion once again, I find myself feeling unwell. And then I really sat down afterwards and thought, wow, Linda, what is this? What is the reason behind it shaking you up every time you had contact? And then it dawned on me that this individual is simply existing in a completely different vibrational field. And when we do see each other, we do not see each other very often. She brings all the garbage from her life with her. And we need many, many hours until she can simply get rid of them and process them. And I genuinely love this person a lot, yes. So they are truly and genuinely a very good friend, and I truly have understanding for them and always have patience with them. I always get involved in that because I really want to help, and above all, because that person also wants help from me, yes. However, I simply take note of the fact that it is no longer advantageous for me. Yes, I am incapable of regulating myself down to this low level for numerous hours until we have to some extent brought it back to a level that provides me with a sense of well-being once again. Yes, and these are obviously very bitter realizations. Yes, bitter realizations, because there are precisely 2 options at this moment. Either I no longer meet with the individual, or if that individual arrives, I pay extremely close attention to my emotions. And that will become very evident within the initial few minutes. And then I will simply bring out the hammer. Yes, you are allowed to make a guess in regards to which of the 2 options I have made a choice between. However, not for the second one, because I feel obligated given the fact that we have been friends for such a considerable amount of time. No. However, the reason is that for me, the most significant development lies in acquiring the skills to lead myself and becoming self-reliant. Yes, in order to comprehend why is it proving to be so challenging for me? What is it that I desire to steer clear of? Where do I prefer to avoid? And to really very clearly recognize where I still have my own inhibitions, to stand up for my clarity and to stand up for myself and my needs and to stand up for what I need and really recognize that when I am with myself and know what I need and what is good for me and what I can accept and what I cannot, what I can respect and what I cannot, what is good for me and what is not. If I am really clear, honest, and authentic with myself, it should also benefit the person I'm interacting with. Because what is right for me must also be right for my counterpart. Yes, and if we do not wait too long until we genuinely lose our temper, but rather in advance, have respect for ourselves and our emotions and what we understand, so respect early and thus simply approach communication openly, then the topics are not hurtful, but maybe eye-opening, not hurtful at all. It is crucial to prioritize mutual understanding and consider the impact of our words, fostering a respectful and constructive dialogue. Yes, in the event that I naturally wait until I have had enough, then at that point I no longer possess control over myself, my actions, my reactions. Yes, at that point. Then it's no longer about leading oneself. Why do I want to talk to you about this today, or did I want to talk to you about it? Because we frequently experience the sensation of spiritual ascent, awakening, new time, and other similar phenomena. This always has something to do with light and love. That is not the case. Yes, quite the opposite. This is partially indeed a challenging task. Let's just say it directly and honestly. It is a truly tough job, because the clarity that needs to come with it also greatly affects us personally and has a profound impact on our own selves. So, it genuinely means to be clear within ourselves and to present ourselves clearly, and to truly be able to take responsibility for ourselves, but also for the time we spend with someone in our lives and the impact we have on them. Yes, not so much for the other individual, yes, but to acknowledge and appreciate the amount of time I invest with someone and the topics that become apparent and meaningful in that context. They don't just happen. They don't just happen for no reason. They don't just happen for us to bend ourselves. Very important. Yes, pay attention to the signs of the time period. When you spend time with someone and you observe that you do not feel comfortable, then the time you spend together is filled with that information and it becomes evident. I do not feel comfortable or partially uncomfortable. And that definitely does not involve bending yourself, but rather learning to stand by yourself, lead yourself, and thereby lead others as well, in order to become a more effective and influential individual. And that is just, well, I would describe it as relatively new, or it is not new at all, to be more precise about its age. It is intense, it is profound, and it is becoming more weighty, carrying greater significance with each passing day. Yes, that is correct. It occurs more frequently on certain occasions, and it also happens more often at times. My goodness, affirmative. Additionally, it is imperative to explicitly indicate that a substantial quantity of negative energy is being unleashed in the field at the very same time. Once, owing to the fact that we are undergoing changes, and because we are presently in an absolute process of detachment from our previous matrix, our previous patterns, identifications, and so forth, we are experiencing a profound transformation in our lives. We are situated. This resolves a great deal. It also resolves traumas, or at least they desire to be resolved, so they manifest themselves. And thus, simply an incredible amount of this energy is released. Yes. And what naturally also clearly adds to this is this unbelievably dense flood of negative reports, news, plans, etc. War and yes, so all this obvious stuff that you see out there, there is a lot of intense energy in the field that wants to be transformed. Clarity is clarification, and clarity is freedom. The concept of clarity is synonymous with the concept of clarification, and it is also synonymous with the concept of freedom. The clarity of energy, which is the fundamental basis for peace to emerge in any situation, cannot originate from a world that is peaceful if we are afraid of clarity, clarification, and freedom. The fear of clarity and freedom hinders the emergence of peace, as peace relies on the understanding and acceptance of clarity, clarification, and freedom. Uncertainty surrounds power, lies, falsehood, and other deceptive elements, etc. The breeding ground is a favorable environment for these parasites. Yes, and the importance of freedom is crucial, as dependence on others makes us vulnerable to becoming sacrifices in times of war. It is crucial to prioritize maintaining our freedom to avoid such dire consequences. By that I mean the classic war, but of course I also mean what else is war intended for me. Yes, all the exploitation. Yes, the entire culture is founded upon exploitation, deceit, falsehood, and other similar practices that perpetuate an environment of dishonesty, unethical behavior, and a lack of integrity. Manipulation is the primary focus. Hence, clarity and freedom are exceedingly vital components for achieving and maintaining peace in any given context. Interestingly, in the spiritual bubble, we always believed we could eliminate everything through the power of light and love. Respiration remains vital, love is significant too, light is essential regardless in any case. However, clarity ultimately finds its foundation in the profound and transformative power of love. When I clearly communicate to someone the details of the situation, I do so out of a genuine sense of care and affection. Out of love for myself, we do it completely selfishly. First and foremost, out of love for time, because I simply do not feel like wasting my precious lifetime, and also out of love for the other, because I trust that he is in contact with me, because that is exactly what he needs right now. Yeah, so it might potentially trigger certain individuals. It might make some individuals express, yeah, finally. Please make sure to definitely write your thoughts in the comments section, as I will be very interested to hear from you. If the video has pleased or enriched you, kindly don't forget to like and comment, and feel free to follow me on Instagram as well. There we can connect and also engage in personal exchange. I'm really excited about it. Also in love, the most beautiful for you, your sister in spirit, your beloved and cherished Linda.